Alright, so sorry about that. Uh, Honestly, I should have been doing this Thursday, but but I was doing some. Hold on, trying to get this up and running. I was trying to do some Lego Star Wars stuff, so do it now, and we'll do that now. Uh, so okay, so Batman turns out to be gay. Um, he comes out as gay in the comics. So let's talk about it. So this isn't going to be as fantastical as my Winnie the Pooh horror stream, which I don't know. I still feel like I should do it over again. But I'm trying to get everything saturated here. Let me see. Give me a second. So um, I'm gonna get to the article first, and the article is in the description. Um, this actually dropped this week. Actually, it was either Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure, but it says ahead of Pride Month, DC just dropped a hint that Batman might be bisexual. Last issue of Batman the Night #5. If confirmed, Batman wouldn't be DC's first LGBT superhero. Revealed that DC has earlier revealed that Clark Kent's son, current Superman, was bi, and Harley Quinn is also bi. But um, we'll talk about that in a second because um, yeah, don't like it's an unfair comparison. Um, in the comics, the young Bruce Wayne gets closer to his fellow trainee Anton. After they escape from the Russian prison, the pair shares a deep look at each other's eyes. It appears they're about to kiss. Before they were interrupted, the scene between Bruce Wayne and Anton is garnished, garnishing huge responses from Twitter, which has gone crazy over the fact that Batman could be bisexual. One user wrote, I'm working on trying to fully explain my thoughts on the possibility of bisexual Bruce Wayne or Batman. But I do get it. Batman is a character who has dealt very closely with identity inclusion, and we'll talk about that too. Uh, and because of that, I think his character is relatable to people who are LGBTQ plus. Taking a look at the directions here, and it has the comic panel. Comic Legacy creator on Twitter says, "I can't tell if Bruce Wayne is bi. Bi thing is a real or just a massive comic Twitter wide joke." I read the article and I'm so confused because both sides make sense with this. Can someone explain to me what the census is? Um, and we have the comic panel right here, and that's all it was. So, one thing is, I'm going to say that I'm fine with characters from other universes, being bi or, you know, lesbian or gay or whatever. Um, for example, uh, yeah, yeah, um, sometimes it turns out to be, you know, kind of destructive. But I'm going to put an example of, for instance, the Injustice universe. Killer Croc is gay and marries Orca. Um, that's fine. But then we have on the other side of the spectrum, we have we had um, Alan Scott from the New 52 universe, which basically made him gay. But then we wouldn't have like Obsidian, like his kids Obsidian. I forget who the other one was. Hold on. Jade. Damn it. Yeah, I should have known that. Jade. Um, that completely takes out, you know, that possibility, which was in New Earth, which was Earth Zero, but of course, kind of like Marvel, DC is just messing up with their multiverses and shit. Um, but like I said, I'm okay with you know characters from a different universe, um, being gay or whatever. But my problem comes when uh, companies and companies have done this for the longest time. Uh, Outright made characters gay gay, lesbian, or whatever, just to just to please the masses. Which here's a secret there. Uh, the LGBT community doesn't really care, and honestly, have said multiple times that they don't wish companies to do this. It's uncomfortable. They don't have to do this. They don't have to try and put put them on a pedestal for people, you know. But companies do it for, money, but then it just turns out to be sometimes it turns out to be just make them lose money. Um, and it said Clark Kent's son, Jonathan, which, there they grew him up um, and then was like, he's gay, without no. And this is the problem that I have with the whole Batman situation. Um, there was no hint that he was gay. There was no, you know, um, nothing like that, because usually as a child, you can tell. But um, and they did the same thing with Batman, which Batman has been, which Batman is a very close character, um, to my heart. You know, I've seen all the films, the Burton films, the Schumacher films. I'm not going to get into that. Um, the Nolan films that I loved, Batfleck as he's called, um, in the DCU, EU. Um, all these characters all these different versions of Batman that's been around. You know, Gotham by Gaslight. Which is a Victorian Batman. I've read every Frank Miller Batman, for better or for worse. Because those comics can be good. Some of them are just plain awful. I'll actually probably review some of that later on. But and I mean, it's Batman has multiple variations of himself, but if they want to make the main continuality Batman a bisexual, which again doesn't have any. There was no like inkling of, hey, Batman's bi. You know, um, they just want to do it just to, and Marvel just wants to do these things just you know to see if it sticks, and try and get money out of people. And so let's get to the Harley Quinn thing, right? Um, the thing of that is, right, that Harley Quinn has been around since the 1990s, made by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm. First appeared in the Batman the Animated Series. She was actually based off of um, an episode of, believe it or not, an episode of Days of Our Lives, uh, voiced by the same person from Days of Our Lives. It was this character, I forget her name, but she was in a jester costume, and they Bruce and Paul took that and made a character out of it and put it in the Batman universe, and actually asked the person who was on that episode of Days of Our Lives to voice the character. So there's a little history of Harley Quinn right there. Um, but yeah, she's been around in the 90s, and through that time, there has been hints of her relationship. There's been signs of her being bi. There's comics of her uh, created by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, um, that shows that Poison Ivy and her are in a relationship. This isn't just a new thing in the Harley Quinn TV series. Every Harley Quinn fan has known that Harley Quinn has been bi since basically the late 90s or early 2000s. So to say that, to put Jonathan and Batman up there, with Harley Quinn, it's not an unfair, you know, it's not an it's an unfair example. You know, those three do not stick together. They do not. They do not. They're not just one big huge example of, hey, these characters are by, you know, um, again, like Harley Quinn has had history, you know, since the beginning, since her beginning, and it's and then you want to make characters like gay, you know, like um, like they did that to what Tim Drake too, which I again there was no there was no example of him being bi. You know, there was example of him having a relationship with Spoiler, which was Stephanie Brown, who actually was at the time Robin, um, till she was beaten to death by Black Mask, I believe it was Black Mask. But all during the 2000s, they her and Tim have had a relationship, and now he's gay all of a sudden. Like, you know, it doesn't make it right that they are doing this, but they're going to keep doing it. So, um, and people are like, well, why are you complaining? It's a comic book. It doesn't matter. Um, but the thing of it is, yes, it doesn't. It's not real. But it's just comes to the point that why are people doing this? People will have um, people will have problems with everything that these people are doing and making these characters gay out of thin air. You know. So yeah, that's that's it for this stream, and thanks for everybody for watching. That one person for watching. Um, I'll see you guys in the next one. Like I said, I might be doing Lego Star Wars. It doesn't look like I'm going to be doing it this morning. I'm going to probably do it this afternoon. Um, so yeah, I hope everyone has a good Thursday, and apologies for this being late, 2 days late. Well, 3 days technically, but have a good have a good Thursday, everybody, and thanks. See you guys later. And DC Marvel stop burning bridges with the fandoms. Later.